"You see what your sister has brought into this house," she began, her tone scathing. "You've been jumping from one man to another, and all those men are poor. You even have to borrow money from me to pay for Uber rides when they visit. Instead of men supporting you, you're the one financing them. Sometimes I regret giving birth to such a good-for-nothing daughter." Dickson was known for his gentle ways and romantic gestures. He would visit Adepa at her shop, often bringing her flowers and small gifts. Adepa, who had never experienced love before, began to cherish these moments with Dickson. Home was a place of sorrow for her, but outside, with Dickson, she found joy. He would take her out, play with her, and make her feel alive. He became her beacon of hope when the world seemed dark. Adepa had given up on her education, resigned to the fact that her aunt would never enroll her in school. One day, under the golden rays of the sun, Dickson took Adepa to the beach. The waves danced at their feet as they laughed and played. Suddenly, Dickson knelt on one knee, his eyes filled with emotion. "Adepa, we have been friends for months, and deep in my heart, I love you. I don't know your parents, but I see in you a kind and good person. I believe you would make a wonderful wife and transform my life. My love for you is beyond words." Adepa's heart pounded. She had never imagined this moment. The proverb says, "The heart that loves is always young," but her joy was tinged with uncertainty. She had never asked Dickson about his life, his work, or where he lived. Their relationship had always been simple, focused on the moments they shared. Dickson took her hand, his grip warm and reassuring. "Adepa, love is a leap of faith. The tortoise said, 'Slow and steady wins the race.' But sometimes we must take bold steps to find true happiness. Will you take this step with me?" Adepa stood there, tears streaming down her face, overwhelmed by Dickson's heartfelt proposal. It was the first time a man had spoken to her about love and marriage. Shy and unsure, she asked Dickson for some time to think. That night, thoughts of Abigail, her sister who often brought different men home, swirled in her mind. Adepa wondered what such a feeling would be like. 2 days later, she sent Dickson a message. "Dickson, you have brought so much joy into my life, and I cherish you deeply. I love you, and you are my first love." Dickson, upon receiving the message, responded with a crying emoji and a heart. "Adepa, I can finally sleep after hearing this. Thank you for understanding my love and feelings for you." A few days later, they met again, eager to learn more about each other. Adepa shared, "We are 2 sisters. My younger sister is at university and I've finished secondary school. I'm managing my mother's store. There's more to my family story, but that will come later, after I inform my mother." Dickson listened intently and replied, "It's admirable that you're helping your mother for your sister's education. As for me, I'm a businessman. I travel between Ghana and Europe for work. I need a humble and trustworthy woman like you to take care of my business when I'm away. I'm into real estate and other ventures." Adepa was stunned. She had always seen Dickson as an ordinary man and loved him for his kindness and simplicity. Learning about his wealth and business acumen left her both shocked and happy. She realized that with Dickson, her dreams of a better future could come true. Her heart raced with excitement and fear. Could she really trust this man with her heart and her future? The proverb says, "When the moon is shining, the cripple becomes hungry for a walk." Adepa felt this moment was her moonlight, a chance to step into a brighter life. "Dickson," she said, "I'm happy to hear about your business, but know that I loved you even before I knew about your wealth. You have always been my comfort and joy." Dickson smiled, taking her hands in his. "Adepa, my wealth means nothing without love. You are my treasure, Together, we can build a life full of love and happiness." As they embraced, a deeper sense of peace and hope washed over them. Yet beneath the surface, Adepa knew that revealing her family's true situation was inevitable. For now, she basked in the warmth of Dickson's love, ready to face the future together, believing in the strength of their bond. They both promised to visit each other's homes to know more about themselves, but Dickson insisted Adepa visit his place first. They scheduled the visit, and a few days later, Dickson arrived at her store. This time, he drove a 2018 Lexus LS 500, one of his luxurious cars. At first, Adepa didn't recognize him and was surprised by the expensive car. Dickson waited until she closed the shop and then picked her up. As they drove through East Legon, a neighborhood known for its opulent houses, Adepa was in awe. East Legon was where the wealthy built their mansions, a symbol of success in Accra. They arrived at a gated mansion. Dickson honked the horn, and a police officer opened the gate, revealing a house secured with foreign dogs. Adepa felt like she was in a dream. She had never seen such luxury, only on television. She was both thrilled and frightened. They went inside, and Dickson led her to his room. They had known each other for months, and after a delightful meal, Dickson expressed his desire to be intimate. Adepa, trembling, confessed, "Dickson, I am a virgin and not comfortable having an affair for the first time without preparation." Dickson respected her feelings and assured her, "Relax, Adepa. We have time. You should always feel comfortable." It was late, so Adepa called her auntie to explain why she couldn't make it home that night. Her auntie, furious, had no choice but to understand. The next morning, Dickson drove Adepa home. Mr. Opoku was not around, but the moment Auntie Ama saw Dickson's expensive car, jealousy flickered in her eyes, as well as in Abigail's. Their smiles masked their envy and disdain. As they stepped out of the car, Auntie Ama greeted them with a forced smile. Adepa, "Welcome home with your friend. Please come inside and rest. I can see you are tired." Adepa, sensing the tension, tried to remain calm. She knew her aunt was not happy, but she also felt a new strength within her, filled by Dickson's love. As they walked into the house, she thought of the proverb, "Not all that glitters is gold." She knew the road ahead would not be easy, with hidden enemies pretending to be friends. But for now, she cherished the love she had found and the hope it brought for a better future. In her heart, Adepa knew she had to tread carefully. The riches and comfort she had seen were beyond her dreams, but the warmth in Dickson's eyes gave her hope. She silently vowed to handle this new chapter with wisdom, knowing that true love requires patience and understanding. And as the saying goes, the sun will shine on those who stand before it, shines on those who kneel under them. Adepa felt the first rays of her new dawn breaking through. Both went to the hall, and Adepa introduced Dickson to her auntie and her sister Abigail. "This is my mother," Adepa said, gesturing to Auntie Ama, "and my younger sister Abigail. Unfortunately, my father isn't around today, but hopefully you'll meet him on your next visit." After an hour, Dickson asked for permission to leave. Auntie Ama, with a cunning smile, said, "In-law, let me have your contact. In case my husband returns, he might want to call you since we're now family." Dickson handed over his number without hesitation. As soon as Dickson left, Auntie Ama called Adepa into her room. "What does Dickson do for a living?" she asked, her tone sharp. Adepa, innocent and trusting, explained everything, from Dickson's business to his travels between Ghana and Europe. With every word, Auntie Ama's jealousy grew, poisoning her heart with envy and bitterness. She thought to herself, "So you think you deserve a better husband than my daughter? We shall see." After her inner tirade, she turned to Adepa, her voice dripping with skepticism. "Are you sure this man loves you? Do you really trust him? Men with such expensive lifestyles are not to be trusted." Adepa, trying to hold back her tears, replied, "I have known him for months, Auntie. I love him and trust him very much." Auntie Ama scoffed. "Never trust a man nowadays, especially rich ones. They're dangerous womanizers. He might sleep with you and then dump you. If you love him, be patient and study him before doing something you might regret." Adepa thanked her aunt for the advice, though her heart felt heavy. She left for work, her mind swirling with doubts. The words of her aunt cut deep, leaving her emotionally wounded and discouraged. She felt a sense of disappointment and confusion, but still held on to her love for Dickson. Life went on as usual, but Adepa couldn't shake off the hurt from her aunt's words. She found herself questioning her relationship with Dickson, yet every time she thought of him, her heart ached with love. The proverb, "A bird that flies off the earth and lands on an anthill is still on the ground," rang in her mind. She realized that despite her aunt's jealousy, she had to follow her heart and trust in the love she had found. Each day, she fought the doubts planted by Auntie Ama, reminding herself of Dickson's kindness and the joy he brought into her life. Their love was a delicate flame. Adepa was determined to keep it burning, no matter the obstacles that lay ahead. In the evening, when Adepa returned from the store, Abigail confronted her with a mix of curiosity and feigned enthusiasm, typical of the intimate girls' talk they often shared. "Abby," Adepa began, her eyes wide with excitement. "You won't believe what I saw at Dickson's house. It's like a dream. A beautiful mansion, luxurious cars, fierce dogs, and furniture that looks straight out of a five-star hotel. I almost fainted." Feeling secure in sharing with Abigail, Adepa poured out her heart, describing every lavish detail. Abigail listened, but as Adepa's story unfolded, jealousy surged within her like a rising tide. "Congratulations," she said, her voice laced with a bitterness she struggled to hide. "I can't wait to see your wedding and your honeymoon," she added with a hollow laugh. Abigail retreated to her room, her facade of joy crumbling. She whispered to herself, "Oh God, I've dated so many guys, but none of them own a house, let alone a car. They all drive their father's cars. But look at Adepa. She meets one man, and he's richer than our parents. When will my turn come? Daben koraname miribeba." Jealousy had wrapped its tendrils around Abigail and Auntie Ama's hearts, blinding them to the wisdom that all fingers are not the same. Later, Auntie Ama called Abigail to her room. "You see what your sister has brought into this house," she began, her tone scathing. "You've been jumping from one man to another, and all those men are poor. You even have to borrow money from me to pay for Uber rides when they visit. Instead of men supporting you, you're the one financing them. Sometimes I regret giving birth to such a good-for-nothing daughter." Abigail's face fell as her mother continued, "I told you the other day that Adepa is a witch. She doesn't deserve such a rich person in this family. You do. When we die, you need someone to take care of you and the family." Abigail said to her mother, "I didn't believe it until Adepa told me about Dickson. It was like she was mocking me. I believe she is possessed." Her mother, Auntie Ama, replied, "Don't worry about it. I know what to do." Abigail's jealousy turned into a simmering anger. She couldn't stand the thought of Adepa, whom she had always considered beneath her, finding such fortune and love. As she lay in bed that night, a dark resolve began to form. She would not let Adepa's happiness overshadow her own. Meanwhile, Adepa, unaware of the storm brewing in her own home, continued to cherish her moments with Dickson. She believed in the proverb, "When the going gets tough, the tough get going." She knew there would be challenges ahead, but her love for Dickson gave her the strength to face them. Little did she know that the toughest battle would come from those she considered her closest family. As the days passed, the tension in the house grew palpable. Adepa could sense something was off, but she couldn't pinpoint what it was. She focused on her love for Dickson, finding solace in his words and promises. However, the seeds of jealousy and betrayal had already taken root, threatening to disrupt the fragile happiness she had found. One day, Dickson approached Adepa and shared that he would be spending the holidays in the United States. He asked if she would join him. Adepa couldn't contain her joy. She jumped into his arms and kissed him for the first time. Her heart raced, and goosebumps covered her skin. It was a unique and exhilarating experience for a virgin like Adepa. Truly, love is sweet and beautiful. Adepa told Dickson, "I'm thrilled by this offer and willing to travel with you wherever you go. But I need to seek permission from my mother first. If she approves, I will be glad to spend the holidays with you." In the evening, Adepa informed her auntie about the trip. Both Auntie Ama and Abigail celebrated the news with her. Yet behind the smiles and laughter, jealousy festered. The Akans have a proverb, "Abo abi beka moa now free o entumamu." Literally, if an animal will bite you, it will be from your clothes. A few days later, Auntie Ama made a call to Dickson. "Hello, my in-law Dickson. This is Mami Ama, Adepa's mother," she began. "How are you?" Dickson replied. "It's been a while." "I'm fine," Ama responded, her voice deceptively sweet. "I want to have a private conversation with you. I need you to come home, but this should be a secret meeting. Please don't let Adepa know. Can you come around 12 p.m.? Dickson, curious but unsuspecting, agreed to the request. He drove to the house at the appointed time without informing Adepa. When Dickson arrived, Auntie Ama greeted him warmly. "Thank you for coming, Dickson," she said, leading him into the living room. The air was thick with tension. She began, "Dickson, I can see you truly love my daughter, but there are secrets you must know. A handsome man like you deserves a woman of good character, someone you can trust to be at home without worrying she's with another man, a woman who is marriage material." Dickson was shocked, but listened intently to his future in-law. "The truth is, Adepa is not my daughter," Auntie Ama continued. "She is my elder sister's daughter. When she finished school, she was running around with men in the village and got pregnant. She couldn't even tell her mother who impregnated her. She had an abortion that nearly cost her life. I brought her here, thinking I could enroll her in university, but she hasn't changed. She still chases men every day. Don't be deceived by her good character. She's pretending, and once you fall for her trap, she will ruin your life. She is not my daughter and can never be my daughter. I cannot approve any marriage that will cause problems, where you'll be calling me every day with complaints." Dickson, stunned, replied, "But she said she is a virgin." Auntie Ama laughed coldly. "A virgin? Did you sleep with her to confirm?" "No," Dickson admitted. "She's lying to you," Ama said. "One of her boyfriends will be coming here next week. I want to invite you to see him with your own eyes, but keep this a secret." Dickson was taken aback, reeling from the unexpected revelations. He asked for permission to leave and drove away. his mind racing with conflicting thoughts. As soon as Dickson left, Auntie Ama called an electrician to the house. She instructed him to disconnect the light, fan, and TV cables in Adepa's room. She paid him a large sum of money and told him to return on a specific date, but without his electrical tools. That evening, when Adepa returned from the store, she noticed the darkness in her room and went to her aunt to ask what had happened. Ama feigned ignorance and said, "I don't know. Maybe the power is out. I'll call someone to check it tomorrow." The next day, Adepa found herself in the same predicament. Frustrated, she decided to go to Dickson's place to get away from the tension at home. As she spent time with him, she noticed his demeanor had changed. He was distant and preoccupied. "Is everything okay, Dickson?" she asked, concerned. "Yes, everything is fine," he replied, forcing a smile. But inside, he was torn by Auntie Ama's words. He didn't know whom to believe. The proverb, "A bird at hand is worth two in the bush," echoed in his mind. Should he trust the woman he loved or the warnings of her aunt? As we eagerly await the next episode, the suspense hangs heavy. Will Adepa overcome the trap set by her auntie, or will Dickson fall victim to deception and see her with another man? The path ahead is fraught with tension and uncertainty. Can true love prevail against the forces of jealousy and betrayal? Have you ever encountered a situation like this? How did you navigate the complex web of trust and betrayal? Share your experiences with us and let us know where you're watching from. Your stories could provide valuable insights and perhaps even help someone in a similar situation. Remember, trust is fragile and must be handled with care. Always seek the truth and guard your heart. For more captivating tales like this, subscribe to Ananse Web of Tales. Stay tuned to see if Adepa and Dickson's love can weather the storm in the next episode.